normal way. I kind of tested things out and kind of had that scientific theory about things. So when it came time for the topic of sex, I had it all figured out, right? Based on two facts. Two things I knew for sure. One, kissing will get you pregnant. Knew it for a fact. And growing up in New Orleans, I would always see a girl walking with a boy and kissing, right? You remember that song, like, Sarah and Sam sitting in this tree, Kissing. That song? Well, in New Orleans, it kind of sounded like this. Sarah and Sam walking by the tree, Kissing. She got pregnant, and then he's walking with somebody else by another tree. So, needless to say, that was my sexual lesson. And two, my mommy used to tell me all the time, don't you go get pregnant because you're going to take care of that baby. You're going to quit school and you're going to take care of that baby, which always, the two waited, quit school sounded awesome, but take care of baby, not so much. So, because of those two things, I kind of was I walked through my young adolescence as a matrix of sex, right? Anybody tried to kiss me, I'm like, and I just, when I go through boys, I had a bunch of boyfriends. If you ask people, I was doing a lot of damage. Because you'd always see me with a different boy, but it took 2 weeks before they're like, I'm tired of dealing with this girl. She's not kissing me, she's not doing anything, we're done. So that happened. This mathematical equation of kissing equals pregnancy worked for me because, I saw a lot of that. So as I got to high school, I met Pete. And Pete was awesome. He was so cute. Not really cute, attractive, but he was unattractive in high school, so he became funny. And then he became cute as he got to college, so then he was funny plus cute, which, is always a plus. So I really, really, really liked him. And one day he offered to walk me to the bus station. I was like, yes, he likes me. We're going to be together for 2 weeks, and this is going to be great. So he walks me to the bus station, and we're waiting in this building right outside, and we're right before the bus station for the bus to come, and he just kind of pounces on me. He pushes me up against the wall, and he's looking at me real deep, intense. This is sexy, right? This is sexy, right? I feel, that's that, I'm not breaking any eye contact, weird kind of way. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So he's staring at me, and I'm trying to figure out, will this be my first kiss? I'm 16, he's 23. He knows what he's doing, so maybe he can teach me how to kiss. And I'm not paying attention to what's really happening, because what's happening is he's pushing me against the wall, and he's looking at me. While he's looking at me, he's kind of doing this, right? And I don't know what he's doing, and now I look back up at him, and his eyes are closed, and he has this little look on his face, and I'm like, this is a joke. I don't know what's going on, and I'm really confused, and he don't look like I should be bothering him. So I started figuring it out, because I'm smart. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is some kind of numeric Morse code or whatever. So I started counting his hip movements, and I got to 37, and he stopped. And that was it. Went home. And I was confused. And I wrote, trying to figure out what the hell happened. I had things to ask, because I'm smart. I can figure this out. I go back, because a scientist must test their theory multiple times and come up with a conclusion. And this time was 47 times. The next day it was 53. And by the time we got to 69, I was like, all right, well, obviously I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't really care. So I go on by my life, and I don't have him walk to the bus station anymore. Then I get into college. And I'm a grown woman. I'm 17 in college. I know everything. And I know absolutely nothing. And I know by the time I don't know shit. I know, especially about sex. Everybody's doing it. And now I gotta act like I know stuff. So I have a friend of mine, and all my friends are very loose. I love loose women. I would love loose women because, they're just very nice people. And they get a bum rap. Loose women, right? So I'm talking to a friend of mine, and she's telling me one of her sexcapades. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, tell me about yours. I'm like, yeah, I got one. So I tell her the story about me. And I'm like, oh yeah, and then it happened 47, 62, 69, by the time I got to, and then that's it. And she was horrified. And she's from New York, so she was like, yo, like, what he did was like assault you. You had sexual assault. It was sexual assault. Like, that's what she was saying. And I was like, that was sex. I was like, now I'm like, done. Like, my mind is blown. That's sex. That can't be it. So I laugh at her, and I'm, kind of insensitive. And I'm like, whatever. I'm not paying your mind. And she's like, look, this is going to affect you. Like, stuff like this that happens, you can't blow away. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect your life moving forward. I feel sorry for you. I'm like, and I go on with my time. I get a boyfriend not too long after my freshman year in college. And it's my first boyfriend, and he's great. He's like perfect first boyfriend material. He's so patient with me because he knows I'm a virgin. And I'm like, all right, now's the time. We're going to have sex. So I set it up in my head. I look at my book of sex notes. I kept the book of sex notes because that's what's, cool people do. And I'm like, all right, well, I got it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be that aggressive virgin. If there's such a thing. And so we're there, and he's naked, and I'm naked-ish, and because I'm like this, and but I'm aggressive. I'm like caution to the wind, and I push him up against the wall, and I'm like kissing him, and it's so cute and sweet, and him like trying to be the aggressor, and then he's like responding back. He seems like he's really into it, right? So I was like, all right, let's do this. We're going to have sex, and then I started looking, and I'm like moving my hips, like moving, and he's like, what's going on? What is she doing? And I realized he's not enjoying it. He doesn't have the tongue out and whatever. So I realized maybe I could be wrong. He's like, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I'm like, that's never good during sex. So I kind of like run into the bathroom, and then he comes after me. He's very patient. He explains to me whatever the fuck that was driving on me. That's not sex, and he laughs about it, but it was a nice laugh. It was like, aw, you're slow. He's like, let me show you, let's do it together. I'm like, oh, this is awesome, team building. So he lays me down, and he gets on top. You sure it's okay? Okay. Like that kind of thing. I'm like, sure, why not? So he starts, and we have sex. And it was absolutely awful. The most painful experience of my life. It was like drilling. I assumed that drilling was sex, and they were trying to go up. It was just like that. And I remember walking away from that thinking, like in the math in my head again, like sex equals pain. And I was like, oh, that sucks. I didn't have sex for a while after that. It's kind of good.